Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Hitchhiking Ghost podcast. On today's episode, we are continuing our little series of moments on certain rides. And today, I am going to go over the best moments on terrible attractions. Now, these moments are the best parts of the ride, okay? The rest of the ride is just terrible. But this one is just, the parts are just amazing. So let's start out with Journey into Imagination with Figment. There's a section where a huge explosion occurs, which is not really my favorite thing because I do not like loud noises. But what occurs after is so cool. You can definitely tell that someone was on heavy drugs whenever they came up with the concept of this idea, the concept of this part, because oh my goodness, it is a complete acid trip, but it is really cool and different. I really like whenever all those figments are just swinging on swings, flying, just doing all sorts of crap. But this is one section of this very mediocre attraction that I enjoy. Now let's talk about Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. It does have a quality moment. Just one. Other than that, terrible. But ever since I was a very young kid, I really enjoyed the part where there was like a red laser that like spun. It's like a spinny laser section. I never knew why I liked this so much, but I just knew that it was cool, okay? And also this was a section in the previous Dreamflight ride, so yeah, I just really enjoyed it. I really like going into the red laser thing. It's just something different, and I enjoyed it. It was so cool. So I just have that nostalgia because that's always been my favorite part of this ride. Other than that, terrible ride. Because after that red laser section, you go into that terrible simulation portion where you can't even shoot anything. You just go through that screen that looks like it's from the 70s, even though Toy Story didn't come out until like 96, I think. Just the animation is just so goofy. So goofy. And really, just to be quite honest, this whole ride needs an update. Oh, and now I get to talk about my favorite ride ever, and that is Soarin'. And it does have a cool part. It's not entirely terrible. If you do sit in the center, it has many cool parts, but I enjoy being shot into the air. Like whenever it raises up and you just get that little breeze of air coming at you and then the movie starts. I think that is a very, very cool part, but the distorted images really ruin this ride, and it really makes it one of the worst on property, in my opinion. I know a lot of people like this ride, but in my opinion, I do not like it. Now let's talk about Stitch's Great Escape. Now, even though this ride is just universally hated, which I don't really understand, it's not that bad, but it's not very good either. It's like mediocre at best. But I really enjoyed the part where he jumps from seat to seat, and your restraints go up and down, and I just thought that was so cool. And it's in the complete dark, so it's a complete cop out, but I really enjoy the theming and the effects. So it's not the greatest theming because of course you're in the dark, but it does feel like Stitch is on the loose and acting like Stitch would if he was on the loose. Like, absolutely crazy. Now, the next ride I would like to speak about is the Kali River Rapids. Now, there aren't many redeeming qualities about this attraction at all, but I do enjoy one part because it's different every single time you go on it, and that is the drop. It always changes, okay? Sometimes you're falling backwards and you're just looking at everyone laughing at you because they know that you are about to get soaked. But you could also fall forwards and you can be looking at the people about to be absolutely drenched, and you just smile at them because you know that they are about to get absolutely wrecked by that cold, cold water. It's funny. It's really funny. So, yeah, definitely. Because some people, it could be their first time. You never know. They could be freaking out because, oh my goodness, they're going backwards down a big drop. Ooh, it's so scary. It's not that bad. It's not a bad drop at all. You barely even feel it. But when that water comes up and hits you, ooh-wee. That is a funny time because some people don't even know it. They don't even know it's going to be such a big splash coming up and get you. But you can get soaked at this ride. That's why I do not like it at all. Probably never go on it, honestly. Don't go on it. The next ride I want to talk about is the Tomorrowland Speedway. And I actually do like this part. Which is hard to say because Tomorrowland Speedway is tough. I do not like riding this ride at all. It's tough to get into the vehicles, tough to get out of the vehicles, and it's tough to stay on that little track that they have out there. You just bumping off your sides like every single second. It's tough. I hate it. But when you can get on the ride and time it correctly to watch the fireworks while you're driving around in the little car, like you have to time it perfectly, but there are some very cool camera shots that you can get. But I say camera shots, please, please, please do not stop your cars to watch the fireworks. If you do have to stop to take the perfect picture, I can understand that, but please check behind you and make sure no one is coming. That's how I take pictures on there. I check behind me. If the person is like a little kid behind me, like a while back, then I'll stay there, take a picture, and then start driving again. Because you could be taking that perfect shot while the other person is like behind you with an obstructed view of the fireworks. And I speak from experience whenever I say this because someone stopped directly in front of me, and it was only like 2 minutes, but it felt way longer. While she stuck up her iPad to take a picture of the fireworks. Even while her kid was telling her, let's go, mom. She just, swatted him away and then took a picture with the dang iPad. I just want to know. I want to know what type of picture or video will be taken with a damn Generation 2 iPad. Those huge ones? I don't even know how they were even carrying it. Like, I looked at the purse and it wasn't even that big. Maybe the kid was carrying it. I have no idea. All I know is that they stuck that iPad in the air and they were taking a video or a picture of the fireworks, and I'm just like, who are you showing that to? Okay? It's going to look ridiculous. The sound quality is going to be terrible. The picture quality is going to be terrible. Who is watching that? No one. I'll answer that for you. No one's going to watch that shit. Oh, man. I cussed. The next ride I want to talk about is Test Track. And this is a ride that really hurts me to be on here because I love the old Test Track so much. I really like that testing story that they had going on. But I must say, the power test is still the best part of this ride, even though it's still not as great as it could be, because whenever they were doing the actual testing facility thing, they put the crash test part next to the speed part where you would go outside. You would actually drive up to a wall and then it would open, and you would go out and do your laps. And it was probably one of the coolest parts of any ride at Walt Disney World. It was so cool. Because you had that little bit of a fear in you, because during the pre-show they chose your test and they had a crash test at the end. They chose a crash test. So you're like, why is that on there? So you get to the crash test, and it's an actual crash test. You drive. Yeah, you actually crash. You drive towards the wall. Like, you pick up speed, and at the very last second, the wall's open, and it's just like the power test now. So you just make your laps around the building, going I think 64 miles an hour, around there, and it is completely awesome, so thrilling. I love this. I love this part. Even now, I like it, even though it's not as good. I don't really like the Tron update, but doesn't really matter. It's already done. Can't change anything about it now. And that is all of the rides on my list. So I would just like to thank everyone for watching this video or listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcast or anything like that. I just would like to thank y'all. And I hope everyone has a wonderful week. Goodbye.